Okay, it is 9:44 and I've had two trades, one with INKW and another one is with STEK. The first one right here didn't really work out too much. This was an attempt though. As you can see, the previous day right here, the big green day, first green day that's pretty big is this 146 level, the high. And the idea is that we're gonna open at a decent point right at the morning, and then it ideally breaks above the 146 level, and then it causes a really nice morning spike, and we have a second potential green day in the making. And I did buy at 931. That was 10,000 shares on 144. So 144 was right here, right at 931. So I got in at that point. It doesn't really show 144 at 931, and I think that's because I was in at this 144.35 level at 931. So I guess it averaged up to 145. I guess. No, I guess actually no, 144 could have been right here. I was probably in right around this point right here. And it just didn't seem that strong. I did get out at 147 the same minutes. It just didn't seem like it was going to do it. There were too many sellers at the ask. It didn't look like it had the power to really continue to make a move towards the upside and get to the 15s. So I did get out, and I had in mind that this thing could be like a dip and rip. So maybe it had this little upturn right here, but then it sells off because there's too many sellers at the ask. Then we have some panic volume, whatever, and then it starts to consolidate at some point and then turn around. It hasn't done that. It might not be able to do it today, but that was a setup I was looking at once I got out of this. I didn't I did get in this trade with STEK, and this was scary actually. I think I'm actually pretty lucky the way I traded this one. This thing was downtrending, and I did have a trend line on both sides, but I did something that I don't normally do, and this is probably going to be a reason why I'm going to not do this as often. I did buy while it was still downtrending in the trend line, and that was at 937. I bought 25 shares at 653. 937 was right here. I got in right here at 653, and why? Because it looked like it was going to play off of the $6 range as the ultimate bottom, and it looked like it was trying to ideally buy the level 2 price action, turn around right then and there, but I was totally wrong. It broke this little baby bottom it was trying to have right here. Actually, no, between these two candles, and then it broke further and it started to downtrend more. I tried to get out. I tried to cancel. I even had this thing at 9:38. I placed the order and I was not able to get filled, and it got pretty low. I did cancel the order eventually because it looked like it was trying to play off of the $5 level, but this was very, very, very dangerous. And just when it looked like it was going to start to turn around, the order was canceled because it looked like it was going to turn around. And I did get out at 9:40, which was right here at 6:25. And the next minute, I actually could have made my money back or even have been profitable, but I don't mind that one bit. Because, this thing looks like it was going to really downtrend some more. But I guess that was just a big wick, you know, huge wick. Not as big as yesterday's and even bigger, if you ask me, than the first day right here. It just downtrended a lot more, if you ask me. At least it felt like it because I was in the trade. But yeah, this was a morning panic bounce play that didn't work out because I got in too early. As you can see, it did break past the trend line eventually, and that did offer an uptrend, but this isn't that nice, at least compared to yesterday, the previous day. The previous day looked a lot nicer the way it broke past the trend line and everything. So, yeah, just two trades so far. I'm going to be a bit red on the day, but I don't mind that because I could have been really down on this position, and this is why I had such a wide risk level with this stock, and I only bought 25 shares. I actually kind of played out with this setup. Okay, it is 10:12 a.m. and I think I'm going to take a step back from trading because it just seems like it's not my day, and I think that's totally fine. I'm going to try to make it my day, but I'm not going to force anything. If it just seems like I keep not making as much as I could have or just having a bunch of scratches, I'll just take a step back, which is totally fine. Because I was thinking with STEK, if I traded this thing the right way and maybe got in a position when it was looking like it was going to break past the trend line, I could have been in maybe at $6 and then that would have been a 10% move and it trades with a super wide spread, but that was totally possible. Instead, I got in early before the trend line broke, and I had one more trade with TVPC, and this one was like a high day attempted breakout setup. I did buy 300 shares, a very small amount because it trades with a, a very super low floats at 10.02. I bought 300 shares at 30 cents. And why? That was because it was breaking past this level. It looked like it was going to break past this level, the nice round number of 30 cents. And I thought I was going to do it right then and there, and it didn't. It reminds me a lot of a listed stock that tries to break past the range. It does a lot of volume comes out, and then it gets right back under. And then it started to trade back and forth, and I did sell eventually because I didn't like that. I thought it was going to do it right then and there and have a lot of nice momentum behind it. And when that wasn't the case, I got out at 10.04 at 28.94. So that was right here when I got out. So I was in right here and I got out right here. And I would have gone out eventually, even if I stuck to this trend line, because it did break past it here, it broke past it here, and then here it opened under it. And that's when it did make the move. So when like something of this nature happens where it just feels like it's playing against you or like you're being punked, I'm gonna just probably take a step back from trading because it just means that maybe it's just not my day. Because I mean, hey, I could have tried to have rebought again once we were breaking maybe the level right here. I could have been in at maybe perhaps 315, 316, and then that was a super nice move into the 39s, and then it tried to get above the 40 level as well. Now it's selling off. So if I see stuff like that, ugly price action, or if it just seems like it's not my day, I'm going to take a step back. I'll still be looking for setups, but I'm going to be less inclined to trade. I don't want it to be like, the Friday, the last day of the week, and then, I have the least amount of sleep and I trade a whole bunch of setups, and then maybe I try to make some back because I'm down or something like that, and then you end up more down. I want to avoid all of that. So I'll try to keep that in mind. I'll still be looking for setups once again, but not as jumpy as was going to be this morning, or the way I was trading this morning to find anything that looks like a good setup. Okay, it is 11:54 and I want to go over a setup that I took with SING that did not really work out, so I'll just go over it quickly. But essentially, if you look at the chart right here, I like how it looked like it could have been a head and shoulders. A shoulder dips, a head, and then it kind of dips right here. And I thought, this could now make the shoulder ideally, but perhaps this is all that it's able to do. I was thinking that maybe the trend line is broken right here and then it comes back, but it doesn't go all the way back to where the trend line will be now. So it's going to hold the 16.5, the 16 level, which was resistance. So when I got in the setup, it wasn't looking that bad, and I was also interested because there was a big bidder at 16.8. I bought 2,500 shares at 17 at 11.34, which was right here when I got in at 11.34, and it wasn't looking bad. It was looking like maybe, you know, um, the price action was going to head towards the upside, especially with the big bidder at 16.8. I think it was like 68,000 shares. And also had a trend line here that is broken and consolidated too. I thought a lot of things could have been going for it, and it just didn't work out because right here you can tell the big bidder at 16.8 moved to 17, and then somebody took it out. The entire position of that was there at 17, the big bidder was just wiped out. And I thought that was super bad because now the bid was way lower and the ask wasn't looking too good anymore. We just had one tick that went to 17.2. I placed an order at 11.42, which was not too long after. Yeah, the next minute after I did this, I placed the order at 17 and I got filled at 17.1, and that was it. This thing can make a move later, perhaps. Could totally do it, but I think this was a good attempt. I didn't lose anything, but this was a scratch. It didn't go the way I wanted. This one has been downtrending, and nothing really I would have liked to have traded. Maybe an inverse head and shoulders, a shoulder, head, shoulder, but it doesn't really look that nice. INKW had a bull crap breakout later, and it went as high as 17, but I'm glad I at least did something, but this is ugly. If I keep seeing stuff like this where, for example, with INKW, it started to work when the big volume came in. STEK turned around when the big volume came. And I believe even this one, yeah, TVPC, when the big volume came, that's when the price action happened and it did a move that I was trying to get. I think I'll just have to adapt and adjust to that, which is fine. I think I've had a few trades like that where I get in just because I see a bunch of volume coming in and it looks like it's gonna do it before it actually, might not do it, and then it ends up being profitable. That could totally be the case, and I'll just have to adapt to that. SING could play out again, or maybe it might even downtrend and get to the 14s at some point, and then it can make that bounce. That could be the case too. So that's pretty much it for right now. I'll make an update later. I don't think I'm going to trade anything else unless I see something super nice. It is 11:28 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be down this Friday just $5.03, and that was a few trades. And I think, what was the total? The total was 4 trades. The main issue was STEK in the future. If I ever go through that issue again, a stock that trades with a wide spread, follows a trend line, I'm not going to attempt to buy when it's still in the trend line. I'll only consider a setup once it starts to break out of it. And if it does something like this where it would have been hard to have gotten in because it has a lot of volume, that's too bad. And I will also try to adapt. And if it seems like it's more common that a lot of the setups, as I went over previously, only happen when it has like a whole bunch of volume, I'll just get used to that. Otherwise, that was pretty much it. I was looking at STEK if it was going to try to make a move above VWAP. It never really did it unless you want to count this little piece right here. As for SING, it is downtrending more. So if it becomes something that might go back to the 14s or the 12 section, maybe it can offer one more move towards the upside, and I'll be interested in that. Nothing too nice with SIRZ, nothing really ideal. And this one I just, didn't like the way this one traded after it had this little fake out breakout right here, but it did it a few minutes later after having a few wicks breaking the trend line. I don't like that price action, but yeah, I just have to keep adjusting and keep getting better and keeping in mind that big volume price action if that's something that's going to happen more often. That's all I have for today.